Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's JMChess here, and I am going to be going over a quick introduction to the King's Gambit opening in chess. So, if you're unfamiliar with what the King's Gambit is, it's going to start off e4, e5, and then you're going to go f4. That is the King's Gambit because you're gambiting this pawn right here with the idea of him taking, the possibility of getting a big center at some point, getting everything out. But we're going to go over a couple variations. They're kind of similar. They're big attacks that you could very possibly get if you do the King's Gambit correctly. Before we get going, I just want to say thank you all. We're getting close to 100 subscribers. So if you guys are enjoying the content and want more, go ahead, hit like and subscribe. Let's try to hit 100 subscribers in the next couple weeks. That'd be awesome. But I also want to give a shout out to Nick MRN, who gave me the idea to kind of go over this King's Gambit and everything like that. I like the Vienna Gambit. That's the only one I really played, so I've been kind of diving into different kind of gambits, and I did a little bit of research on this King's Gambit. Not enough to give you guys like a master class or anything like that, but I definitely have enough to show you kind of a cool, trappy way to play this. So we'll get into it. I'll put the link to Nick MRT's channel in my description. So we're going to get going with it. The best move for black after you start the King's Gambit is just to take. So it's going to happen quite often. Uh, it keeps black at an advantage and everything like that. So if you guys saw the Vienna Gambit, you know about this queen check. So that definitely needs to be stopped the same exact way as Vienna Gambits is. You're going to want to bring your knight to f3 to stop that, stop anything like that, because if you do not stop that, let's say you play something like the other knight. He's going to come in with that queen, that check. You only really have two legal moves in this position. One is to move the king, and I don't think that's really such a great idea, and neither is that, because you move the pawn, he takes. If you take back, you're just losing a rook. So that's why the knight move to stop that check is extremely important, just like it is in the Vienna Gambit for the exact same reason. So after the knight move, they're going to realize that this pawn is just kind of by its lonesome. Uh, a lot of people, and it's actually the best move, they're going to move this pawn, try to protect that. You can't take that pawn because the queen, and you don't want to lose the defender of that square right there. So there's definitely other ways to play it. Like, I believe knight to c3 is the best move, and then it just goes on from there at that point. But what I've been seeing is a really aggressive way to play against this instead of just kind of developing. You're going to attack that pawn that just moved to try to get it to take, or just anything like that, just so you can eventually move this pawn and then get your bishop to retake that pawn, the one, and just win back the pawn that you gambited. So a lot of people will see that that's what you're trying to do, and they'll move this pawn to protect that. So if you take, they can take and still have the same little thing. But the only problem with that is this rook right here. That rook's going to take. They just lost a rook. So a lot of people will realize that is the issue with h6. So they'll actually try to go f6 because it leaves this rook defended by this pawn, and it kind of does the same thing. If you take, they take. And you got the same position, it's just now you're missing that pawn and everything like that. The only way, so what you're going to do instead of taking with the pawn, and they won't see this coming most of the time, especially at low elo ratings like me and a lot of other people, they will not see this knight sacrifice coming. And at low elo, you see that, and you're like, oh, okay, 100% I am taking. The only issue with them taking there is it brings the queen out. Queen check. Can't block with anything, so you're kind of forced to move the king upwards. That's literally, let's see, is that the only legal move? Yeah, I believe that's the only legal move. So you're going to win that pawn anyways, and there's a few things that could happen. King could go there. You could win a queen. Same if the king goes here, you just win a queen. Same if the king goes here, you just win a queen. It's the same thing. So really the only two things that the king can do, or that black can do in this position, is block, which, I mean, yeah, it works, I guess. But you move the pawn, attack that knight. You're going to win that knight pretty easily. You're going to win it. Let's say they go there. You just win. Yeah, they can like go check or something, but you just block. It's not that big of a deal. And the other thing that the king can do is in this position is go back because it protects the queen, right? Yeah, it may protect the queen, but queen check right there. I mean, there you could block. Yeah, you could block, that's true. But you're gonna win a rook. You're gonna win a rook that way. It's super nice. And yeah, the queen could probably go there, but I mean, what would be the best move in this position? What does it say? King d1. So actually just retreating like that, protecting this pawn, because if you just blocked, this queen could have taken the pawn, like I'll show you. So you just block, then queen goes here, and things get a little bit scary. Yeah, I mean, you've still got a massive advantage. But it actually says taking that is better. So that's probably why going there is the best move, because it stops that, and this stays protecting that. So yeah, it's just a lot of bad stuff if they decide to play this way, these two ways. We'll go over each one time fully. So it's going to go e4, e5, f4. That's the king's gambit. They're going to take the gambited pawn. You have to remember the knight move. Have to remember the knight move, or else that's just not going to work because it stops that. So they are probably going to go there. That's the best move. Next, you can play by attacking that pawn that they just moved to protect the other one. And they could either go here or here. If they go here, it's not good because you take with the pawn. Queen can't take that pawn because the knight's right here. So that pawn could take. Rook takes. Tricky little gambit. But it's even better for white if they go there, you go there, and they go on this one to protect that way so they don't lose the rook that way. Because then you can sacrifice that knight. They're obviously going to take. You don't even take back with the pawn. You come here with the check because you're going to win that pawn anyways. Only legal move is there. You take, and then it's just game on from that point. If they go there, pawn attacks because it's pinned. King can go back, whatever. All this fun stuff. And then if king just goes back, let's see. So if king just goes back to protect the queen, you go with check. Now, no matter how they block, you're just going to win that rook. They may go here. King goes to protect that. So that's the video. It's just a little bit of an intro to the King's Gambit. And I'm gonna start trying it out because I've just been learning about it. I haven't really tried it out online, and I hope it works. I know there's a lot more that I'm gonna have to learn because there's better ways to play against what White's trying to do in this, so I got to learn that. And maybe in the future I'll do a more in-depth video, but this is kind of just an introduction to what the King's Gambit can do for you and how to make sure you're playing it properly, at least in the beginning. So if you guys enjoyed, once again, hit like and subscribe. Let's try to hit 100 subscribers soon. That'd be awesome. But I want to thank you all. This is JM Chess, and peace out.